exclusive in-match access. Well, the Roosters take the field at the History Center, but there's a twist. They're not playing by modern rules. Nope, they're throwing that away. We're going back to the 1860s rulebook, and we have Click and Dynamite here to tell us all about it. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, so tell me what the 1860s rulebook, how's that different than modern day rulebook?
Well, a lot of the things are similar. The general configuration of the field is similar. That's 90-foot bases. There's a pitching mound, not a mound, but a pitching plate.
Okay.
But there are a number of rules that are different. The pitching is different. There's not balls and strikes. The batter is just kind of meant to hit the ball intentionally. It's not a competitive pitching process. One of the biggest differences is we don't wear gloves.
What?
They had not invented gloves yet. And so
okay, so you just catch it.
We play with a hand-stitched ball and a wooden bat, and we don't have gloves. So
yeah, so this is also different. The ball and the bat are a little bit different, right?
Yeah, so you've got, I mean, the baseball, it looks very similar to today's baseball, and it's made out of most of the same materials. It's just that it's hand sewn. So that makes it a little bit softer, and as we hit it around by the third or fourth inning, it's a little bit softer, but there's definitely broken hands as part of this sport, for sure.
That's just part of the risk, right?
Right.
That's awesome. So you guys have been playing at Rochester Fest for a really long time. Tell me more about that.
We've kind of billed ourselves as the final event of Rochester Fest, and we were saying the two of us have been involved with the team for about 20 years each, and have been playing at Rochester Fest for nearly all of those years. And we used to play against the Royals, we played against the Roadrunners, a couple of the amateur teams locally, and last year we switched things up and we're now taking on local celebrities. So, and we're going to do that again this year, and from here we have Nick Jansen and Derek Overland playing, and Mayor Norton's joining us. We've got Catherine Richard from NPR and a few others as well. So
wow, that's going to be so much fun. So what time, where do we see you guys? I know you said the History Center. Is that always where you guys play?
Well, that's our home field, Schmidt Field. It's named after Mary Jane Schmidt, who founded the Roosters. That's where we play. That's where the Rochester Fest games will be. The first game is the Hens. There's actually a women's game at noon. And so the women form two teams and play each other once a year. And then the men, or the celebrities, will play the Roosters at 1:30.
I absolutely love that. So tell me more about, so we were talking a little bit earlier about the Vintage Baseball Association. So I assume this has been around for a while, right?
Yeah, no, so our team has been since 1997 is when we were founded, and Minnesota has had vintage baseball, I think, since 1995, so not, too far before we started. But we're members of a national organization called the VBBA, a Vintage Baseball Association, and there's over 200 teams in the nation. Every state has at least one team. A lot of those teams are concentrated in the Ohio area, and then a lot out in the New York, New Jersey, the East Coast. And then there's somewhere between 8 and 10 teams in Minnesota those are the teams we typically take on.
That is so awesome. So one more time before we go, how do we get those tickets? Do we just show up?
Yeah, the best part is that we charge the same price that we would have charged in 1860, which is 2 bits. It's a quarter. And if you don't have a quarter, we'll let you in anyway. And I wanted to share too, there's tons of things going on. There's wagon rides, there's watermelon seed spitting contests, we have chickens, face painting, and really everything's free except for the concessions.
That's so cool.
They're a great deal
and that's
too.
the 28th, right?
29th. Sunday the 29th.
29th, all right. So everybody back home has to check them out at the History Center the 29th to see what 1860s baseball is really all about. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.